Hello everyone, it's time for our oracle reading. Before I jump into that though, I wanted to announce that we are going to be launching our certification course. So we're going to start that December 1st. And so we have a month to get you signed up for it. And this is going to be perfect for anyone who was, maybe it's just like you're wanting to deepen your own awareness of your mind-body connection, mind-body-spirit connection, and using the breath as a tool in order to do that. That's really what this is about. So if that's interesting for you as an individual, this would be great for you. Or if you are in any kind of a profession where teaching others to do this as well will be very impactful, perfect. So teachers, coaches, yoga instructors, mental health professionals, even business leaders, we can all use just simple, accessible tools to bring us into our parasympathetic nervous system, to bring us more into a rested, optimal nervous system response, so that we can utilize all of the energy within us to really not just survive in life, but to thrive. And that's at the mind, the body, the spirit level. And so be looking for that. We should be making some posts. If you go to our website, there'll be more information on it. So yeah, we're excited. It's been something that we've been wanting to do for a while. And so finally made it happen. So that's what's exciting in our world. And now we'll get to the oracle reading. I pulled from the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck again, because I just love it. And this week I pulled the Ghost Dance. And so I pulled it upside down. So we'll get into more about the significance of that. And so what the Ghost Dance is, I don't know, I want to make sure you guys can see some of the picture, the faintness of the picture. And it was something that the American Plains Indians would do. It was a dance where they would call in the spirits of their ancestors to unite with the spirits of themselves, their human body, in order to bring peace into the world. And so it really started as a movement to ask for guidance and for help to stop the Westerners from coming in and invading their land. And they wanted the peace. And so they knew that if they harnessed not just their own power, but the power of the ancestors who wanted what was best for them, then they were just that much amplified. The power was much greater. And so they would have these ghost dance ceremonies in order to harness that and bring it in. And so they were able to realize, and this is true for all of us, that when we can really hone in and honor our ancestors, that it's going to bring harmony into our lives. And whereas when we tend to hold them responsible for all the wrong in our world, then it haunts us. And so we can look, and I like to look at it not just as like past lives, honoring our past lives of like our ancestors. Like there's so many different ways. If you're one that believes in past lives, and you can think of how that impact can bring or can still impact us into this life. And so like being able to let that go, or to understand the lessons from that. Also, like even the research that's done on our ancestors and how some of those traumas and some of those experiences can literally be passed on to us. So we can look at it from that angle too. You can also look at it from the angle of our own life experiences and how we die and get reborn throughout our own this life cycle into many different versions of ourselves. I am not the same person as I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So my thought patterns are different. My behavior response is different. And so like those are even, you could think of them as past lives. So there's different ways of coming at this, but in this, the essence is the same. If we are going to look back and beat ourselves up over our past mistakes, if we're going to blame our ancestors, or we're going to blame past lives for the difficulties that we're experiencing now, it's going to become a story that haunts us. And so doing the ghost dance, it's asking us to bring those spirits in, bring our ancestors in, those energies that want our best interests in mind, want us to transcend. So we're bringing them into our human existence right now to harness it together, come together, and to produce harmony and peace in our own lives. So when I pulled the card, it was upside down. So the essence of that means that there's a medicine, that we can use the ghost dance as a medicine to help us overcome something that's going on in our life. So questions to ask yourself is, are you finding yourself maybe lost in a vicious cycle of nostalgia? Like something where you don't think that like life could ever be as good as it once was. Maybe there was an aspect of yourself that you felt was super strong. You were really successful in it, and you don't feel like you have that any longer. So there's this grief that goes along with this story, or of this person who you were, or maybe of an ancestor or a prior life, something along those lines. It could also be the mourning of lost youth. It could be, as we age, maybe things are starting to go differently than what we're expecting, and then we're mourning that, we're holding on to that. It could also be opportunities missed where you felt like this isn't really the path that you want to be on, and you miss an opportunity, and so you're beating yourself up over that. It could be all sorts of different things. Just any time, is there in your life right now these aspects that you're clinging onto, you're holding on to, either with resentment or in like not able to let go because you think it should be different. And really what this card's asking us to do is to call in our ancestors and allow them to help us bring peace into our lives. And our ancestors, the energy of it, even like however you want to look at it, if it was a past life, your actual like ancestors, grandparents, great grandparents down the lineage, or even your own different personas or different people that we die and reborn to in our own lives, all of that energy really wants us to be successful and to be the best version of who we can be in this lifetime. So we need to be able, can then call on that to help us transcend these blockages that we have, and their essence, their spirit can come and help us do just that. We just have to be willing to ask for that assistance. And so that can be like the card asks us, like we could set up an altar for them with maybe pictures. You could light some incense, a candle, and just do some kind of a thing, like open the door and a clearing of like letting it go. And sometimes it can just take this like very abstract idea and make it a little bit more tangible. That's what ceremonies, sacraments, and religions, all of that is. It's a way of like marking it and just making it more sacred. And so you can do something like that where you can call them in. It's also asking us to be wary of like past relationships with someone, maybe from a past lifetime. Again, could be an actual lifetime, could be an ancestral lifetime, it could be in our past. And knowing that sometimes like people that we've been entangled with in life can come back and reappear in our lives, and that can really hold us down. That can it can be like a weight on our energy body and on our physical body. And so we have to be willing to learn the lessons from these past life experiences, to transcend them and to let them be free. That's what forgiveness work is all about. If we're not able to forgive ourselves or others in our life, then we are the ones that are carrying the weight. It's not the other person. And so in order to be free and to really amplify this life experience, we have to be able to do that forgiveness work. That's not always easy, and we don't have to go it alone. And so that's where this ghost dance would come in to play, where we can ask higher powers, ask divine beings, ask our own divine nature to help us through this process and to do something so that we can learn from those experiences to become better, to die to the self and evolve into a new version of ourselves, stronger in the insight and wisdom from our past lives, so that we won't fall into those vicious cycles any longer. We can transcend them and go out life just more at ease, with more peace and more harmony. So there you have it. I would be super curious to know if this relates to any of you in any way. Have a good week.